Well, so now I am going to show you how to create a load balancer. Okay, if you look at my screen, I have just logged into my subscription. Okay, and I told you to go to search here and type load balancer. See, when you type load, the load balancer came. You have to click on that load balancer. As usual, you need to select the subscription. It is my free trial subscription. And resource group, I would like to create a new resource group. Okay, I will do rg-lb01. Okay, resource group for load balancer 01. Okay, so now I am going to select or give some name to the load balancer. Okay, my -lb01. So where I'm going to deploy, I'm going to deploy it in the Western Europe. And here I told you know what kind of load balancer you wanted to create. You want to create a standard load balancer, an application gateway, or a basic tiering. See, basic tiering is getting retiring soon. Means you will not have the basic tiering going forward. The Microsoft have an option, or they are working on to retire this basic SKUs. Okay, so you select the standard one here, as I already told you, and which one you want to access. You want to access public or private. I would like to select public load balancer because I want you to also access the application. Na? So let me keep it as public. So when I say public, it will have a public IP address. Okay. And what kind of tiering you wanted? You want a regional tier or global tier? Let me put global tier. See here, a cross region or global load balancer can only be deployed to a home region. Make sure you have selected the valid region. So if you select the regional, then multiple regions can be opted. So let me select the regional for now. Click on next. As soon as I click on next, it will take me to the front end IP configuration. I told you know it has got multiple components of it. So it is asking me to create the front end IP configuration. Let me click on add front end IP. So my IP address is my LB01 FIP01 front end IP01, and I need IP version 4, yes, and I need the IP address, yes. What kind of thing I wanted? I wanted, see, I need to select the public IP address. You can create if possible, if it is allowing me, otherwise I need to delete the existing virtual machines IP address only. Okay, delete the existing IP, public IPs, and you have to recreate it here. Let me click on create a new one. My iPhone LB01 PIP, it is public IP 01. Okay, oh, it has not taken, so let me add my LB01 PIP01. Okay, let me save it. Yes, and gateway load balancer, I don't need anything, let me save it. So I have added my public front end IP address. Now click on backend pools. So it is asking me to add backend pools. So let me create a backend pool. The backend pool name is my LB01 hyphen backend pool 01. Virtual network you want to select, you can select the existing Western Europe one only. Let me select the Western Europe VNet 01 RG. Okay, that one only. So I don't have any machines available there. That is fine. IP address. This is VM, and if you see here, yeah, see, I'm able to access the two virtual machines which are there. Western Europe VM01, Western Europe VM01. It is there. What I will do, I will not add any things now. Let me create the backend pool, and later I will add in the once I create everything, I'll add it. Okay. So network interface card only I'll select, save. I have created the front end IP. I have created the backend pool. Now I have to click on the inbound rules. So inbound rules and all I can even create later, no problem. Okay. Now let me review and create it. Click on create, and I've submitted the load balancer deployment now. You can see here my load balancer deployment got initiated. It will take a while, maybe less than a minute. You will be able to deploy it. So now you see it says it is completed. Deployment succeeded, and you can see your deployment is complete. Click on go to resource. If you click on go to resource, you will go to the load balancer, or if you want to see here, go to the load balancer, search load balancer here, and you see there is one load balancer called my LB01, and it is in RGLB01. Okay. So now what we will do, we will try to deploy two virtual machines, and I'll show you how to do that. Let me take you to the virtual machines here. I will delete the existing virtual machines, and then I will create the two new virtual machines, fresh virtual machines, because I need to reuse the public IP address, and that is the reason. Now you see I have deleted the virtual machines which were there in the Western Europe region. Now let me build two virtual machines. Click on create virtual machine. Resource group, let me select the Western Europe one only. So let me put VM01, and availability zone, if you want you can add availability zone, otherwise no redundancy is also fine. This is a lab, so it's okay. I need 2022 operating system server. This is fine. Username should be local administrator. Password you can set whatever password you wanted. It's matching. Public inbound rules, yes, I want RDP to be connected, but since we are accessing the okay, I will show that later, no problem. Okay, see HTTP 443, sorry, inbound, I'm adding 3389 to remotely connect to the virtual machine. Click on disk. I will just go with the default one. I don't make any changes. Networking, I'll try to keep it in the VNet, same VNet, that's fine. And public IP, it's already there. Let me create public IP PIP01. It's fine. It's a standard one. It should be there. Fine. Click on next management. I don't need to do anything. Rest everything is fine. Click on review and create. So I'll pause the video for now. So I will create two virtual machines, and then I will resume it. So this one, let me click on create deployment and then pause the video. Second virtual machines have added all the required thing, and I'm clicking on create. I just given the deployment. I'll pause the video for now. Now the VM02, see here, the VM02 is still getting deployed. So it is still getting deployed. Meantime, what I will do, I will log into the VM01 and install the IAS. Okay, let me connect via RDP. Let me download RDP file. Double click on this VM01 and try to connect. See local administrator, it's fine. So I logged into the VM01. Meantime, let me check the VM02 also. See here, if you look at VM02 is also ready now. Let me log into the VM02, connect. and try to log into the VM02. So enter the password. Yes. Yeah. So I have logged into both the VM01 and VM02 now. So let me log into the VM01 and log in via RDP. And let me install the IIS in it and configure the website. Yes. I have logged into the VM now. So now quickly install the IIS in this server, because I need to deploy two websites in both the VM01 and VM02 and add them behind the load balancer. Yeah, click on add rules. Next. Next, everything is fine, and here you have to select web server, IIS, add feature, next, 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 and install. So let us wait for this to complete. It is installed now. Let me close this and open the IIS manager. Okay, fine. So let me also try browsing this one. Okay, I think it is 10.0.0.4, the IP address, the private IP address of this machine. IP config, it is 10.0.0.4. Yes, 10.0.0.4. Let me browse the application. 10.0.0.4. Yes, it's working fine. Let me create one dummy website here. I'll go to inetpub. You can just open inetpub, go to the root folder, delete these two files, then just create a new text file, open it, and you can mention this is my Facebook application server 2. Sorry, it is 1, no? That was 1, that was 2, and this is 1. So you can increase the size if you want, font sizes, so that it looks good. Save as, you can save the index.html. So fine, now let me double click on it. Text, no, I have to define the body style and all, that's why it is not showing like that. That is fine. Now if you browse 10.0.0.5, 10.0.0.4, not 5, you will see the application. See my application, this is my Facebook application server 1. But if I try to access via public IP, I don't think it will happen. So because it is, the NHG is not allowed there. See, it is not enabling the connection. Let me check why it is not enabling. If there any port block is there, you have to run a command called net stat -ano. It should be browsing, then only you have to run it. See, it is loading still. That is why I have run the command. If you see, I can see sync and see. This is the IP address I am browsing, na 57, 153, 158, 112. Port number 80 I am trying, and 443 also I am trying. Nothing is happening here, right? So port number 80 is blocked. Let me see where is the block. Go to the VM networking settings. Go to network security group. VM01 NSG and see is there anything allowed or yes, there is no inbound rule for 443 and port number 80. Okay, then I'll go to inbound rule, security rule, add rule. I will say source any port number 80 and 443 both I wanted. So allow should be 310. So add rule. Now I am creating an inbound rule. See, I have just created with 310 allow any custom 80 and 443 inbound rule from source any to any. Okay. Now if I try to browse here or if I try to net start minus ANO, it is listening now. See, this is not the IP, the IP is 57. Na? Hmm. 80 is allowed, 443 still working on. Okay, so it will take some time. So it will be fine, no problem. See, I am able to browse now. HTTP 57, 153, 158, 112. If I run, I am able to access the application. So now there is no connectivity issue. Fine. So now we are good. Now instead of accessing the application directly like this, let us add these two virtual machines behind the load balancer. Okay. So let me go to Azure portal, go to load balancer, go to the load. My LB01 is my load balancer. Fine. Now I'll go to front end IP configuration. Already front end IP is there. But if I try to browse this IP address now, nothing will come. If I browse this IP address, front end IP address in your browser, you don't see anything. You can also try in your machine, no problem. Then let me see backend pool. Backend pool is already there. My LB01 backend pool. Okay. So if I want to add, click on add my LB. So now what I'll do, let me go to the backend pool here. This is my backend pool already created. I will select the network interface card, click on add and try to add both the VM01 and VM02 behind the load balancer. Now see here, these are the two virtual machines VM01 and VM02. I am going to add behind the load balancer. Now you see, this is my backend pool. See, BEP01 is my backend pool and that is built for version of RG01 and see two virtual machines are added. You click on save. Now I have my front end IP address, I have my backend pool and behind the backend pool I have two virtual machines, right? Now what we have to do, we have to create the rules. If I try to browse now, even now you will not be able to access the applications because it is not completed yet. So what I have to do, I have to go to load balancer here and I need to create probes. Probes means these are the checks that load balancer will always perform to check the health of the virtual machines behind the load balancer. Okay, so add, click on health probe, my LB01 health probe 01. Okay, what is that? TCP only, port number 80 because we are adding 80 and 443 both. Port number 80 and 443. I have to add both. So let me add one more probe, that is health probe 02 for load balancer and that is for port number 443. Save. So now I have the probes also. Now if I refresh, still I don't have full configurations completed. I have my backend pool, I have my nodes, I have my health props, but there is no rules, no? Because rules are very very important. Based on the rules only, load balancer will decide to which virtual machines the traffic has to be forwarded. So let me go to the load balancing rules here. Click on add, create the rule LBR01, load balancer rule 01. Naming convention, if you see, I am properly creating the naming convention. Okay, so select the front end IP. This is your 204 your front end IP address. See, now I am mapping the rule when pupils are trained to access 57.153.155.204, to which IP it should hit. This load balancer should hit this IP address, and associated to this front end IP, what is the backend pool? What is the list of pool? The pool is my load balancer, my LB01 backend pool. Fine. Now, what kind of connections it has to, whether it is TCP or UDP? In my case, it is TCP. What is the port number? I am using, I have created two props. One is 80. Backend port is what? That is also 80. Health probe, you can select port number 80. Okay, what is the anything else you need to select? No, I don't need anything. Click on save. Now, if you see, if you refresh HTTP, yes, it won't, but when you say HTTP, it will work. Okay, let me copy this one. It will take some time, little time to have the handshake. See, now if you also access this load balancer IP address, you may see server 2. Can somebody please access meantime? I am hitting HTTP now. I am connecting to server 1. Anybody tried now?
Yes, sir.
Which server you are connecting? Server 1 or server 2?
Uh, this one, sir. 155204.
I mean, is it giving my, this is my application server 1 or server 2?
Check copying, sir. 1 second.
Now I have added the rule 2, na? See, the rule 2 also added for 443, and you see it is completed. Save the load balancer rule also a second ago. So now I should be able to access HTTP and HTTPS both. So copy this one, freshly open. That will take some time. That is not a problem. Okay, now you see my application is going and hitting the server 1. So maybe somebody, if someone of you tried, it may go to the server 2, but I am not sure whether you are doing it or not. What I will do, I will make sure one virtual machine, I will shut down the VM01 now. What I will do, I will go to the portal, I will stop the VM01 now. I am just clicking on stopping the virtual machine. See, my virtual machine is disconnected. If you see the status of the virtual machine, it must be deallocating or deallocated. Okay, now,
It changed to server 2, sir.
yeah, now it is reaching server 2, right? Now
Yeah.
if I just refresh 204, the same IP address, see, it got changed to server 2. Now what I will do, I will shut down the server 2 also. Now you refresh, see, service is unavailable. Why? Because both the machines are down now. Now if you power on VM01, it will pick up immediately and send the connection to the VM01 or whatever virtual machines are up and running. I have just clicked on start the virtual machine now, the VM01. I am hitting on the load balancer IP address. Still it says 503 error, means website is unreachable. This service is unavailable, means website is unreachable. 503 has gotten significant response for that. There is a meaning. 503 means application server is down, the application service is down, or application server is down, anything is fine, both are same only. Let me, it is still going on. See, it is connected to server 1 now. I will do one thing, I will power on VM02 also now. Now both the virtual machines are up and running. I told you, no, when the probing is happening, if the virtual machine is going down, the load balancer will understand, yes, the virtual machine goes unhealthy or went unhealthy, and it will redirect the application request to another healthy node. And after some time, if the application server becomes healthy, then it will balances the load among both when you have standard load balancer. Okay. Now can somebody please refresh and see if the request is going to server 02. See, it is left to it is left to the load balancer. It is not necessarily we have only 5 users are there, but 2 application servers are there. It is not necessary like, one should go here or one should go there. See, it depends on the load balancer decision. So load balancer may think that VM01 itself is capable of handling because it is very less traffic. So then obviously all the traffic may go to VM01 or VM02 either. Okay, but when there is an unhealthy status, then it will redirect from VM01 to VM02 or vice versa. But when there is a huge traffic goes, like 2 application servers are there, lakhs together users are, 1000 together users are connecting to the application, then it balances the load accordingly, according to the load, according to the CPU and memory or the application response. When it is probing to the server to check the health status, if it is responding back quickly, less than 30 seconds as I mentioned, then it will be taking the decision to which server to send the application request. So that is what the 5 tuple hashing algorithm means. Okay, source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port, and the protocol. Protocol is HTTP or HTTPS here in our case. Okay, so that is what the load balancer is all about. Hope this is clear. So I'll take silence as no and I'll stop the recording. Thank you all.